What's up, everybody? This time I'm back and I got the audio right. A lot of y'all were telling me in the comments, turn the volume up. We can't hear the actual video. I listened this time and we got the audio louder and I turned my voice down a little bit. So this video is about Larry Bird again. It's making the case for Larry Bird. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to take a look at it. And I'm going to react. This is my first time ever seeing this, okay? And I think this is video number 3 on Larry Bird. 3 or 4. And I will do the passing video after this one. But I really, really have been enjoying this journey. Learning more about Larry Legend and just understanding that, like, he was more than the shooter I thought he was. I thought he was just a shooter. So thank y'all for the suggestion, and we're going to get straight into it, man. Let's go.
Basketball is special. The size of the court and the lack of pads or helmets give fans the most intimate experience of a team sport that exists. And because of the different styles that basketball allows for, players develop their own distinct identities and signature styles through their creativity,
Okay, Rondo.
flair,
Shout out
and athleticism.
Oh, man.
And although no player succeeds alone, the scoring volume and two-way nature of the sport give individual stars a nearly unprecedented amount of control over the flow and outcome of a game. For this reason, players are constantly compared to their peers and to the legends of the past in order to answer the most hotly contested question in the sport. Who's the greatest to ever do it? For many, the question is redundant. They believe in only one right answer, their answer. Others might have their own personal stance, but acknowledge one or two alternatives. But I believe that there's much more nuance to the question of greatness and more answers to it than you might think. By my count, there are 8 players in NBA history that have a substantial claim as the GOAT. It's a subjective thing though. I can't give you a definitive answer. All I can do is make the argument. So today, I'll be making the case for Larry Bird as the greatest basketball player of all time.
Okay, let's see it. Let's hear it. Let's hear it. I'm excited, man. I'm excited. This has been a very hot topic, and I've been loving the feedback everybody's been giving. And I think this video might do it for us.
When it comes to basketball, Larry Bird is the smartest, clutchest player to ever play the game.
Clutches?
Now, if you don't think that Larry Bird is the greatest basketball player of all time, you probably hate that I just said that. Those are the kind of talking head sport cliches that surely impact the game but are impossible to empirically measure.
Okay.
Normally, I'd agree with you, but I think that when you talk about Larry Bird, you see those intangibles become real, palpable results. I wouldn't have said it if I didn't believe it.
Okay.
When Larry Bird was drafted by the Boston Celtics in 1978, the NBA needed saving. Attendance was in the toilet, the league had few marketable stars, cocaine addiction had several players in its grasp, and most damning of all, playoff games were being tape delayed. Playoff games at the highest level of basketball were being put in the back seat for black and white movies and network reruns.
That is crazy.
But rather than join the Celtics after being taken 3rd overall, Larry Bird decided to return for his final year at Indiana State, a decision that would prove to be one of the most important in the history of the sport.
Goodness.
Bird's final year saw the Sycamores tear through college basketball, going 33-0 before the national championship game. Bird, already claimed by the NBA's most historic and prestigious franchise, had established himself as the generational talent who would inherit the mantle of pro basketball. Indiana State's opponent in the national championship was Michigan State, captained by the immortal Earvin Magic Johnson. The Sycamores lost the championship to the more talented Spartans in the highest rated game in the history of basketball at any level still to this day.
Really?
The stage had been set. The next decade of basketball would be defined by the rivalry between the white hick from French Lick and his Boston Celtics and the black Magic and his Showtime Lakers.
Hey.
The rivalry between Bird and Johnson is entwined into the fabric of the NBA and is worthy of 100 documentaries. In this video though, we're going to be looking at Bird's claim of supremacy. Here's Bird's basketball resume. His 3 championships come with perhaps the highest collective degree of difficulty of any player's championships. His 3 MVPs came consecutively, making him only the 3rd player to accomplish the feat, along with Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain. His 2 finals MVPs are misleading. He was absolutely the best player on the '81 Celtics, but he was only a sophomore, and his 15 points per game in the finals gave the media an excuse to exact a little vengeance on a legendarily difficult interview. His all-star and first-team selections also come with the caveat that Bird only played for 13 seasons and missed all but 6 games of the '89 season.
He only played 13 seasons and made 12 All-Stars and 10 All-NBAs. And those 3 All-NBAs he didn't make, and the 1 All-Star was probably due to injury. Okay. All right. There's some facts behind everything right now. I'm liking what I'm seeing.
And following surgeries on both feet. I can hear you already. A 13-year career, and this guy is supposed to be the GOAT? What color of paint are you huffing, Clayton? Green, obviously. But hear me out. Yeah, Bird's career lasted about 2/3 as long as it should have. But what he did in that time was so impressive and so substantial that every basketball fan acknowledges that he's in the conversation as the greatest ever. Doesn't it matter that those 13 years saved professional basketball, delivered a disproportionate amount of memorable moments, defined the golden age of the league, and produced a career by which all other forwards, before or since, are measured? Bird squeezed every drop of talent out in those 13 years and made it seem more like 30. He didn't just leave his fingerprints on the game. He left so much of his DNA in the sport that it needed a cigarette afterwards. There's something to be said about the candle that lasts half as long but burns twice as bright. Those 3 MVP years.
Okay, hold on. Let's look at the stats. MVP years. Let's see. Hold on. 26 a game, 2 steals a game, 7 assists a game, 9 rebounds. Really 10 rebounds a game. And 1 block a game, shooting 40, 39-ish from the field, 51, oh my God, 39 from 3, 51 from, wow, so 50%. That is a run, I'm not gonna lie. Played 200, okay, hold on. Extremely efficient. We're going to go ahead and put that out there now. Extremely efficient. I'm looking at these numbers. On both sides, like, what did he not do? What did Larry Bird not do? Like, let's continue to be. We'll let him talk.
Run by any other player. I will put an A+ Larry Bird season up against anyone's. What does an A+ Larry Bird season look like? A full box score, a blowout win, a nearly undefeated record at home, and a play style that could only be described one way: white. Larry Bird isn't just a white basketball player, he's the white basketball player. To describe Larry Bird's game is to thumb through the Hoops dictionary and pick out every cliche about white players. Unathletic, great shooter, good fundamentals, the whole thing. The archetype of a white basketball player is Larry Bird, with one exception. He had an unparalleled understanding of the game of basketball, both as a physical contest and as a mental competition. His basketball IQ infected everything he did and catapulted his career into legend. Bird was a complete player. Jerry West called him nearly as perfect as you can get. He was the league's first great marksman. He could contort his body to shoot from anywhere on the court, regardless of the level of defense. He pioneered the art of the dagger 3 and was the founding member of the 50-40-90 club.
Hold on. Pioneered the dagger 3. That's crazy. I can't even lie to you. That's crazy. Pioneer. That's let's let the video ride.
At 6'9", Bird's understanding of angles and coordination led to a higher rebounding average than Patrick Ewing, and it made him an impressively adept finisher in his younger years. 86, Bird dropped 47 points on the Blazers, playing the majority of the game left-handed. His lack of quick lateral movement meant that Bird didn't do much when it came to slapping the floor and picking up the opposing point guard, but his size and omniscience gave him the ability to body similarly sized players, read defenses like a free safety, and pick off passing lanes with ease. His passing was transcendent, and I'll highlight it later. And of course you need to know that Larry Bird was a tough effort. He had a superhuman motor and dove for loose balls like a beagle at the park. He was a willing participant in his share of fights, often precipitated by his league-renowned trash talk.
Larry Bird told Robert Reedy the other day that he should have stayed in preaching. That was funny. He had 50 points. I was guarding in my rookie year. He looked at me and he goes, "You can't stop me." And I looked at him and I said, "Gosh, Boy, you're so confident. He proceeded to score like 10 straight points on me. The coach took me out the game. He walks by and he's laughing at me.
He was a basketball genius. He'd be a step ahead, a thought ahead, play the game like a chess game.
I'd much rather guard Michael Jordan than Larry Bird because you have to play the game as a thinker when you're playing him. You have to get inside his mind.
If you put all of us in a room, you know, Magic, Jordan, myself, and Bird probably be the guy who walks out of the room at the end of the day.
Did you notice something during those testimonies? Those are some of the best basketball players of all time, and they all sing Bird's praises like they were former assassins who had to go toe-to-toe with John Wick and they're just happy to be alive. Bird excelled during one of the most talent-rich periods in league history. The abridged list of his basketball rivals goes like this: Dr. J and Moses Malone on the Philadelphia 76ers, Sidney Moncrief on the Milwaukee Bucks, Isaiah Thomas, Bill Laimbeer and the Bad Boy Pistons, Dominique Wilkins on the Atlanta Hawks, Bernard King on the New York Knicks, Michael Jordan on the Chicago Bulls, Hakeem Olajuwon and Ralph Sampson on the Houston Rockets, and of course, Magic Johnson, James Worthy, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar on the Los Angeles Lakers. Alright, there's no point avoiding it any longer. We have to look at Magic versus Larry. If you have Magic over Larry, it's because he has 5 rings to Larry's 3, had a peak that lasted about 2 or 3 years longer than Larry's, and had a 2-1 record against Bird's Celtics in the finals. Perfectly legitimate, completely respectable arguments. But in the interest of making Bird's case, allow me to retort. For nearly the entire decade of the 1980s, the Eastern Conference was irrefutably the more competitive conference between the two. Considering the competition, for Bird to have made 5 finals appearances is just as impressive as Magic's 9. As for the head-to-head record responsible for Magic's 2 extra titles, he had more help. Seriously, the Celtics' Big 3 and the Lakers' Big 3 get compared all the time historically as if they were of equal caliber, but weren't Magic's accomplices just a step above Bird's? No disrespect at all to Kevin McHale and Robert Parrish, but Kareem was the alpha dog on the 71 Bucks and was the best player for at least 2 of the Lakers' 5 titles.
Sheesh. Okay, I want to talk about something here. I want to stop it for a second. I want to take a statement back that I said. I didn't say this on camera, but before, I used to say LeBron probably had the hardest finals matchups, but it sounds like Larry might have had it tougher. Like, that's a 3-headed monster. Yes, Bron played against Steph, KD, Draymond, and Clay, but that's not Kareem, Magic, or James Worthy. I'm just gonna put that out there. Back to the video. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry, but I had to just put that out there. It looks like Larry might have had it a lot tougher, especially getting to the finals. Oh, my goodness. Bron had cakewalks to get to the finals. Let's just be real here. Larry had to fight to get to the finals. So, much respect on that regard. Let's keep it going.
See, after winning a championship as the best player on a team that had Michael Jordan on it. Throw in the fact that Magic got to be coached by Pat Riley, one of the most brilliant minds in basketball history, and you could say that the Magic-Bird argument comes down to one thing: luck. So if their careers come down to luck, the question just becomes who you would rather take. Now, I'm not making this video to tell you why you shouldn't take Magic. I'm making this video to tell you why you should take Bird. Not just over Magic, but over everybody. One thing that helps him is the fact that his play would translate perfectly into the league today. A 6'9" sharpshooting forward with eyes in the back of his head who averaged double-digit rebounds in an era against Moses and Laimbeer.
He'd dogging the
boards as a power forward. He'd be an offensive mismatch against everybody as a small ball center, and his off-ball skills and passing would pair perfectly with the flow of today's game. Add in his competitive mania and 3 generations worth of medical advancements, and we're talking about a player who could have stuck around so long they would have had to rename the league. As you've been watching these clips of Bird, I would hope that you would notice something. He always knows where everybody is. Watching Bird play basketball is like watching those monsters from A Quiet Place that know where you are if you make any noise at all. Bird had a level of clairvoyance that bordered on the unnatural. In '85, he ended up 1 steal away from a quadruple-double after playing just the first 3 quarters.
What?
His passing was famously infectious and helped transform the Celtics of the 80s into an ideal that basketball teams at all levels are still shown tape of. They moved the ball with precision and intent, always looking for better shots and determined to get the entire team involved in the effort. That fact is almost entirely attributable to Bird and his wizardry with the ball. This acumen also helped Bird become the only player with a GOAT claim to transition successfully into other basketball roles after his playing career. In his 3 years as the head coach of the Pacers, Bird won a Coach of the Year award, coached the Pacers to their first and only finals appearance, and gave Michael Jordan as much trouble as he'd ever gotten in his career in the '98 Eastern Conference Finals. After moving into a front office role for Indiana, he won Executive of the Year in 2012, becoming the only person to have an MVP, Coach of the Year, and Executive of the Year award. On the court or off of it, inside and out, Larry Bird sees basketball as only he can. That intelligence also lent itself to Bird's defining skill, making the big plays. Remember, NBA players get paid to win games. James Harden is getting paid nearly $40 million this year because he's supposed to help the Rockets win games. Victory can be achieved in a lot of ways, and the win column doesn't care how it happens. As Mark Sinclair once said,
"It don't matter if you win by an inch or a mile. Winning's winning."
It's real.
But when your team is down 1 in a crucial playoff game with 8 seconds left, and you need to hit a shot to stay in the series and keep your season alive, that's where players really separate themselves and earn their money. Love it or hate it, it's the players that come through in the big moments that live forever in our memories.
West? That's crazy.
Some players, for whatever reason, were never able to do it consistently. Some players were truly outstanding at it. Larry Bird was the best at it.
The best? I gotta see.
I'm not going to give you the stats about his field goal shooting under 2 minutes with a score that's this close, or tell you who has the most buzzer beaters, or any of that.
Take that for data.
I'm just going to show you clutch moments in clutch situations. 1985 against the Blazers. Bird dropped 48 points, including this. Down 1 with 2 seconds left.
Inbound pass, the double team and Bird. Larry, fake, fall away.
That's so tough. 1.
1985 against the Hawks. Bird sets the Celtics scoring record with 60 points with shots like these.
They open the right side. Bird the fall away. He drills it again. That's the best shooting I've ever seen.
1986 against the Rockets. Not all of Bird's clutch moments were singular. The bigger the moment, the bigger his performance. In Game 6 of the 1986 NBA Finals, Bird clinches the championship with a triple-double in what he calls the best game he ever played.
Oh my goodness. Where's... Nobody would step out on that. 3 moments. 3.
1987 against the Washington Bullets. Bird hits one shot to tie it before it's waved off
4.
because of a timeout. Hits another shot to tie it up for real.
Crowd is standing up. It goes now to Bird. Bird goes
5.
up top.
Okay.
And then in double overtime, down 1, he does this.
It's going to go to Bird. He's got a shot. Get it.
Bro, he hit 3 of the toughest clutch buckets in the
For
same
3 years, from 1986 to 1988, the three-point contest knew no other champion but Larry Bird.
He's still got to drop one here quickly. 14. This is a tie for the money. Yo!
Knew it was good.
1987 Eastern Conference Finals, Game 5. Tied at 2 games apiece against the Bad Boy Pistons, this enormous game would put the winner 1 game away from the NBA Finals. The Pistons are up 1 with seconds remaining. The ball goes out of bounds off the Celtics. Isaiah Thomas just needs to inbound the ball to win the game.
Now there's a steal by Bird. Underneath the DJ. Lays it in. Right at 1 second left.
Oh my gosh.
Bird stole the impounding pass.
There are truly too many big games and big moments for me to go through without this ending up as a documentary.
Oh,
but that all leads me to
goodness.
this, what I really want to talk about. 1987 NBA Finals, Game 4 against the Lakers. LA is up 2-1, and the Celtics need to win to tie the series and stay alive. Bird hits a 3 with 12 seconds left to go up by 2.
Bird goes for 3.
Too many of these buckets, man.
Kareem comes down and gets fouled with 8 seconds left. He makes the first, but misses the second. LA ends up with the ball with 7 seconds left, down 1 point.
post being guarded by Dennis Johnson.
Byron Scott is in the ball game now.
Magic hits this, the baby skyhook.
I remember seeing this.
2 seconds left. Down 1.
Dennis Johnson on the inbound. Bird fires it.
What do you think happens? I bet it wasn't that. When I paused the tape and the ball was hanging in the air, you thought it was going in.
I thought it was good.
Bird thought it was going in. Magic thought it was going in. I've seen this game before, and I still think it's going to go in. But it didn't. Pat Riley said it himself. We got lucky.
Wow.
And that, a missed shot in the NBA Finals, is why he's the clutchest. Because after he makes the big plays, has the big games, hits the big shots, time and time again, you expect him to hit every shot, to win every game. And in those fleeting moments when he doesn't, when he looks like a mere human, when he looks like everyone else who tries to do what he does, you just can't believe it. That's what Larry Bird did. He made the big plays so often you thought he was going to make them every time. He helped turn basketball into a global phenomenon, paving the way for every Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, or LeBron James who comes through our lives. He played basketball in its purest form and captained a team that is consistently ranked among the greatest of all time. He has the second highest win percentage in the history of the NBA, behind Magic by less than 0.5%, about 10 games. He was the complete package, a player with no holes in his game whatsoever. They called him Basketball Jesus. He didn't get that name without doing something extraordinary. He saved basketball.
Jesus.
And he did it by playing it better than anyone else.
All right. Let's just, I'm going to just close this. I'm going to close this here. Okay, hold on. Let me close this because there was a lot. There was a lot that we got to unpack here. Shout out Subway. I think I might be on board with Larry being, okay, for a fact, this is number one. Number one, Larry Bird is the greatest white person to play basketball. Hands down. There's no one that, after seeing that and seeing the numbers, seeing the clutch moments, just everything, leadership, everything, there will never be another player like Larry Bird in this league. Because, as he said, that he's the complete package. Like, the whole time I'm watching the video, I'm looking for a flaw. And I can't call one out. He hustles, plays defense hard, rebounds, can score all three levels, great leader, and will talk that talk and back it up. And then most of all, when the game is on the line, everybody expects Larry to make a play. And they expect the play to be successful. Because I'm not going to lie to you, that shot in that game 4, I expected that to go in. I'm not going to lie. When he clicked it, it looked good. When he paused it, it looked good in the air. When he missed it, y'all saw my jaw drop. So, I think it's safe to say, when it comes to the GOAT conversation, if you don't have Larry Bird in there, I think you might be crazy. You might be crazy if you don't have Larry Bird in that conversation, because he makes the case. He makes the case to be number one of all time, because I don't think, like, just imagine. Let's act like he had no injuries and there were the medical advances that we have today. Let's act like he had those. He could have played 20 years easily and more than likely been top 5 or top 3 in scoring, rebounds, assists, steals. That's what it just looks like to me. You know, I hate to give the hypothetical, but that's exactly what it looks like. And I'm sold. I think I'm actually sold on my top 5 looks different now. My top 5 looks a little different, and oh man, no order. I'm gonna have to go. There's no order on this. It's Bron for me, Jordan obviously, Kobe, Larry, and for me personally, because I saw him, Tim Duncan. But there's no order. There's no order with that. And I'm okay with that. I will stick with that going forward. Before Larry Bird, I didn't have Larry Bird in my top 10. He's in my top 5 now. And I didn't even check out the passing. I was a point guard when I was playing basketball. Passing was my thing. Like, I love passing the ball and moving the ball around. I have to tap in to Larry Bird's passing highlights because, man, just the highlight passes that he had in these last 2 or 3 videos were amazing. And we're going to chalk it up, man. Larry Bird's one of the GOATs. For sure. For sure. He's in that top 5 GOAT conversation. I don't have a number. I don't have an order, I should say. But on a Wednesday and a Thursday, Larry Bird might be number 1 greatest of all time. I said it. Mic drop. I'm not going to drop my microphone because I want to break it. But I'm going with that, and I'm sticking to it. Fight me if you want to. But I said what I said, and I mean it. Larry Bird. I don't know if you'll see this video, but if you do and you make it to the very end of this video, thank you. Thank you for it all because, man, you are the epitome. Literally. Like, you're literally the example of what it means to be a great all-around basketball player. And it's crazy because I never in my life thought I would compare anyone to LeBron James. If Larry Bird had some more athleticism, hey, that's all I can say. That's all I can say. But thank y'all so much for tapping in, and thank you to every single person that has commented on these videos the past week. I appreciate every single one of y'all, and I got plenty more coming to you. Keep dropping names in the comments, man. I love this journey. I've said this every video, but the journey, just learning more about basketball history and really deep diving, because I've known history, I've known it, but I never really took the time to deep dive and really research and watch anything before 95. I never really took the time to do that. But now that I'm seeing it, I have so much more respect for that era of basketball because it was gritty, it was pure, and it was competitive. The competitive nature of the league at that time is really what has me so sold on Larry Bird. So once again, I just want to say thank you. I know this video is pretty long. I don't know if you make it through this, but if you make it all the way to the end, thank you so much for the support. And like I said, man, like, comment, subscribe, and keep dropping legends in the comments because we're on this journey together. We're here now. All right? We're family, basically. Y'all are in my room. Hey, I'm going to get popcorn for everybody next time. But until next time, thank you so much. I love y'all. And peace.